What's going on, guys? In this episode, I get the Charger Super Bee on the road for its first official road test, and I'm going to show you all the little steps I had to just get it back together and taking it out for that spin right here. Yeah! All right, guys, finishing touches here. We're about to get the transmission crossmember bushing put in. We're going to flush out the heater core and get those new heater core lines installed. And this thing is ready to get pushed out and go for a freaking test drive. And I am stoked to finally get this thing on the road and actually see how it drives, get up to speed, everything that we've all been waiting for, myself included.
Time to blow the cobwebs off of this thing. Let's get it out. So I cheaped out on you guys. Honestly, cheaped out on myself. Look, transmission's already leaking. Haven't even gone on the road yet. That cheapo, thin, kind of rubbery gasket that came with the filter, no good. It's already freaking leaking. So, should have known better to buy one of those nice blue steel cord Moroso transmission gaskets. So I'm gonna order one of those in. We'll have to swap it out. Thankfully though, we've got this drain plug where I can drain this transmission fluid and not lose all of it and put it back into the tranny. So we'll have to swap that as a note. This is not gonna work out for us. But we are going to change this crossmember bushing right here. You can see that the rubber is pretty bad in it, so that's going to get replaced
With this new one.
Got this bolt coming off right now. Finally was able to get that nut free. It was pretty tight on there. Here we go. And that's it, guys. The old crossmember bushing is out. And as you can clearly see in comparison, new versus old, this is what we were looking like right there. Not too good. That's much better. Hopefully it actually holds up because I'm sure this is some made in China polyurethane, whatever kind of stuff, but probably still do much better than this. Out with the old and with the new. Trying to do this one-handed so far.
Of course, this thing came just a scooch too tight and it won't let the bolt pass all the way through. So I've got to drill this thing out just a hair to be able to get that bolt to be able to pass through. It's going to be a fight. Check back in with you guys in about 3 hours. About halfway through, making some progress. Hours later. Well, that was absolutely ridiculous, but we have now made it through to the other side. Very unimpressed by these Chinese parts, gotta say. Could I have used a smaller bolt? Probably, but I wanted to use the factory size stuff. So now, kind of, sort of, almost get through it. My bad. Made in Korea, not China.
All right, that was annoyingly more involved than it needed to be, but that's pretty much how it always goes, right, guys? So, nonetheless, this new crossmember bushing is now installed, and we can get on to our final significant task, which really isn't that much, which is draining out the heater core and testing it for leaks and getting our new core lines on there.
So I pushed the car back. Now we can go ahead and flush out the heater core, and just looking at this little puddle, very light, barely anything in there. So it's really not leaking enough to stop us from taking our test drive, but we're still gonna replace that gasket. Something good to notice. So I just popped out this little vacuum line and labeled it so I don't miss which one it is coming out here to the heater control valve. Just got to get this little line here disconnected. Then I'll have these two exposed ends here, and we can hook up some new hose and use that as a flusher to get out anything that's sitting in there. that thing is not coming off. So we're gonna have to slice this here with the blade. And there we go. You can see the old brass exposing there. Beautiful. And now I can just undo this and this whole thing will come off. I don't know if you guys can hear all the cardinals and beautiful birds out there right now, but there's nothing more peaceful than a Saturday afternoon right here in the garage, just working on your car. Birds, flowers blooming, springtime. Good days. Simple but good days right here. With that, our heater control valve and this last remaining piece of hose is out of the way. And now we've got a clear shot to hook up 2 new hoses. Right over here, we can hook these up and use them as our flushers, as well as obviously routing our new lines with it. You'll note that the diameters are different. The upper one is bigger than the bottom one. Came with some clamps, and again, this heater control valve feed. If you guys didn't see the last episode, I snagged this off of eBay. It's a complete NOS replacement, just like the stock one. Really cool. Didn't think I was gonna be able to find one, so that's gonna be an awesome retrofit right there. We're just gonna connect these hoses right here and let them route just like that. I won't even bother with a clamp just yet. And we can put this one, I'll probably put the hose into here, and the other one we can drain here. We can let this one drain here into this bottle. And now we can see, hopefully, that it's not leaking on the inside. Let's pop our door here. Get a before view, what we're looking like. Nice and dry. No drips. Obviously this carpet is old and torched, but that's how we are looking right now before we run this test. Hopefully it looks the same way in about 30 seconds. Okay, here we go. Testing theory. Get a water filling. Cool, it's coming right back. Getting some back pressure. Flushing through there pretty good. All right. Ooh, that was great. Put the hose down right on the frickin' nozzle. Okay. That was lovely. Do not drop your hose right on the handle like that. You can see we definitely got some sediment out of there already, so that's a good thing to clean. Are we looking dry in here? Biggest question. Hell yeah! Hell freaking yes! Oh man, that is a huge, huge victory right there. Did not want to pull this heater core out and have to replace it. And that means we can have heat. Even if I can't get the blower motor to work, at a minimum, when this car is running, the water pump is going to be circulating that hot water from those lines over through the heater core. And yes, it's going to be a little bit more toasty in here in the summer, but in the wintertime, actually going to have a little bit of heat just through conduction of it passing through the car and actually getting a little bit in there. So that is a big win right there, and I am excited. But obviously, want to get the blower motor to work so we have full heat. Oh man, that's really good news. I'm very relieved to see that. No leaks on the inside of the car, so now that means very simple right here. All we've got to do is just continue with routing these lines, get that heater control valve put in. They come up this way like this, loop together through this little guy right here, and then I can eliminate this little bypass that I had here, which was leaking because this hose is way too big on one side of the fittings, and I wasn't actually able to get these clamps to bite tight enough, so this was creating a water leak every time the car was running. So get rid of this right now, reconnect this, then that completely tightens up our whole cooling system. Should be no leaks. Hopefully our little booger job here of JB Weld on the radiator still holds up, and we can take this thing down the road for a test bin, guys. Hell yeah. And once again, to look at what we flushed out of there, not a whole lot of stuff, but just a little bit of sediment and some extra crap that didn't really need to be in there. Hey, listen to me. Anything else that we can remove from all of our new systems getting put back together, the better, I think. So less contaminants, less stuff going on. That stuff now won't wind up in the radiator, won't wind up through the water pump. Don't even need to have worry about that. So away with this stuff right here. We'll continue on. I was trying to grip these clips up here with my channel locks, and every time I get pretty close, it would fly off and it'd run out the bite. But you can see these two little grooves right here towards the back of the bite. So if I get it right in there, It actually acts for a perfect holder to not have it fly out. So that's how I was able to do that. Obviously, I'm sure there's a tool that's made for this, but I don't got one. And that's okay. Before I actually put this on though, yeah, we're gonna do the bottom one, which here we've got to cut it and get that heater control valve in line. Flying at, don't go flying into my eyeballs. Sweet. And these hoses already have kind of a natural direction to them, so I'm wanting to lay these going that way right now. If I was to try and go this way and put it on like this, it'd be fighting against the way it's already kind of curved. So, I mean, it would be kind of cool to read the little standard heater hose line data on there, but it's fine. It's just the heater hose. Right there. Get our hose clamp over the hump. Set in place. Right there. And now I can cut this hose to meet this heater control valve. Just like that. And I'm gonna need some other hose clamps. Yeah, we're gonna need. Nice. Just a little bit of slack, but not too much. While we're at it, we can go ahead and reconnect our little vacuum line here. Check the end, make sure it actually fits good still. See how kind of loose that is? It's already been kind of bowed out from the years sitting on the other one. So I'm gonna cut this and give it a new end. So this way it's got fresh, tighter rubber gripping onto this little input port right here. And there's luckily enough hose left to do that. Lay this hose going over the way it's gonna kind of want to go to right here. So we can kind of turn this a little bit. Get that fit on there. Let's get ourselves a hose clamp going. Fit on here. There we go. Teamwork there on the tools. Could sit in this, but does it? Should it? I don't really know. I feel like that just seems a little off. I like them tying together here. That looks more proper. That looks pretty good. Got lucky 2 times today, cutting the right length. That looks really, really awesome, guys. Freaking sweet. We are completely reconnected now. Heater core, so this way we have no leaks for the cooling system at all. Looking really good, coming right down here. Tightened up, routed nice and neatly. Going to the new heater control valve. Cool little clamps over there. I love it. Very, very nice. Didn't totally hate the steel braided that used to be on there, but it kind of doesn't really match with what we've got going on now anyway, so it gives a little bit more of a subtle, clean look finishing it up. And once again, gonna pull these valve covers off, blast them, make them look nice, maybe paint the top of the engine with a brush and some more orange paint like we did on the new water pump there. Maybe make it a little nicer. I don't know. We'll see what we do. But for right now, that looks really good. As in a little bit of finishing work, I got these lines that go to the tachometer put underneath this line because I don't like things spun and looped around each other. All of our connections are tightened. I went ahead and moved all these lines here that come up for the air grabber, ram charger hood. Reconnected these, even though obviously it's not hooked up yet, but it looks a lot nicer and neater. This additional line here with the yellow tape is what actually goes to the underside of the hood. So I've labeled that so I won't forget it. This one right here, I'm not sure what was supposed to go here, but I capped it off and I used the red one, so I'll always remember to identify what was supposed to go there. But just getting that out of the way. Obviously, you want to make sure when you've got stuff like this too, you don't want it just loose and flopping where it could just be burning off in your header. So I'll find a nice spot to let it rest, but everything's nice and clean and neat here. Got this little vent line for the blower motor reconnected as well. So nice and neat, looking much better over there. What an absolutely gorgeous evening it is tonight too. Look at that. Hell yeah. So pretty. Loving it. Got to take some steel wool and clean up this tip a little bit more now, make it match the other guy. Just admiring what I'm looking at right here. Hell yeah. Now I need to steal this linkage off the old Holley carburetor that was on here, so this way I've got the ability to connect the transmission kickdown. Finish up this little install right here with our get on the cable, cotter pin in there, get this guy going here for the transmission kickdown. And like that, guys, it's reconnected. Sweet. We just need to get a second spring on here. This one's kind of dinky. A little quick test here on the gas pedal. Nice. We've got full range of motion. Okay, cool. And now I've got a double dub spring on here, and that's just for safety in case the primary spring happens to snap and breaks. Then you've lost it. Now your throttle could get stuck open and you're just going down the road full throttle, not wanting to. So these little secondary springs are always a little safety measure on there. Just kind of give it a little extra to snap it back shut if it happens. Let's do it. So now I just pulled off the power steering belt, so this way I can get the fan belt on it because it loops behind that one. And now we can go ahead and get this pulley, which got painted in a previous episode way, way nicer than pretty much everything on this engine right now. But nonetheless, that's gonna look pretty killer right there. I usually love to try to find the Dayco top cogs. I think they're just a cooler looking belt. And plus with that little cog on the top, it's kind of like a little notch if you've never seen it before. Gives a little extra cooling apparently, throws off like a smidge more air around it. I just think it's kind of a cool looking belt, but couldn't find one. It's not a big deal though. This one loops to the inner pulley and then goes here to this outer one on the alternator, but we've got to of course get the fan in. I'm gonna loosen up. I'll make this easier. I've got one hole lined up at the 12 o'clock position. I'll get one here at a 12. Sweet. It looks like it actually needs to go to the inner one on the alternator. We don't want to have the belt misaligned. Very close to this head of this bolt, but I don't think it's going to touch. You want to look out for when you replace stuff like this is making sure that the belt you got isn't thicker than the last one, and it's going to be rubbing itself on like the head of this bolt, for example, and it could fray the edge of this fan belt and it could start ripping itself apart as you drive around. Okay, let's get this fan in here. If I can get this thing going. Holes are lined up, are they? Okay, we are very much lined up. And this is why, like, you look at something simple like, oh, I'm just putting my fan back on with a V-belt. Taking 5 minutes. Not always. 5-minute job. It's always 35 minutes or an hour later. With the 2-finger pinch, we're in there for our final bolt. And our old faithful power steering belt going back on. This one's been on here, but it still looks like it's in halfway good shape. So I'm all right with it. Go ahead and get this cinched down. Tight. Nice and snug. Good tension. Tension on our belt here. All right, that ain't going anywhere. Nice and tight. Probably about 1/16 of an inch. Enough that we won't get any lateral sway there. Should be pretty good. Guys, our V-belts are back on. We got the power steering belt, the fan itself. This thing is pretty much ready to hook. I think I'm gonna throw my triple gauge cluster in and we can take this thing out for this ride. Last two little things before I fuel up. I'm gonna put a new gauge cluster in the car, so I'm gonna replace the oil sensor back here at the block and the temperature sensor right here, which is gonna go right down there. We'll pull those two out, replace them, run wires to them. Then I can pull a 12-volt hot wire off underneath somewhere under the dash, and a little simple gauge cluster out of Amazon, nothing expensive, nothing crazy. Just enough to give us the data we need while we're driving around. Make sure the car is running good, doing what it needs to be doing. We don't want to be overheating or having low oil pressure, making sure we're charging. Just all the simple diagnostic while we're driving around. Original sensor out, and we'll replace it with this one here. Now we can pull off a good reading. A little bit of high tack on there, and we will install. So I just put a fitting here on the end of this wire. Now I'm gonna run it from here and pull it all the way through along with this wiring harness, go through a grommet into the firewall, have some extra length to go underneath the dash, and we'll get this gauge cluster mounted up underneath there. That took entirely too long to do, but it actually looks pretty neat. Probably one of the better ones I've ever done. We've got our ground here. This is our 12-volt hot. We'll get off the fuse panel underneath the steering column. And then this one here and this one here are for the two sensor wires that we have sticking down right there. So let's go ahead and slap this thing in there. We can get some gas in this car and take it for a spin. Okay, we've got our two sensor wires here connected. Oil pressure right here, temperature here. Voltage comes through here just through the 12-volt powered wire. Be able to snag our ground right here. I'll just clean up some metal. And then our fuse box is right there. We can get a 12-volt source and we're good to go. All right, guys, battery's in. We'll hook up the power probe here and find ourselves our keyed on 12-volt hot. So with the key off, I'm finding out which ones of these are reading at 0 right now, meaning there's no power going to them. All these ones here on the left are getting power with the battery on, flowing through them. So like things like headlights you can turn on, obviously without the car running. But things over here, not going until flip the key. Now 11.1 volts. So obviously there's a little bit of a drop with the ignition on right now. So this area right here, we can plug in our little spade connector and get our 12-volt hot. And this is not a permanent thing. This is just enough right now to get us a reading. And what do you know? You've got a voltage reading. It's a little bit weak right now because the car has obviously got the ignition going. Now the ideal way is to have this thing tapped into the wiring for the lights. This way when you pull on your headlights, they can be on. But honestly, sometimes I like the gauges just running even when the car's not got the headlights on. So either way, guys, we've got what we need right here. We can tell our temperature, our oil pressure, and our voltage. See if we're charging. Make sure we're not overheating. Make sure the engine's got good oil pressure, good lubrication. Nothing's gonna lock up. So let's get some gas in the tank. Hopefully the grommet that we installed in the filler neck from a few episodes ago is not leaking because it had to fight it on the way in. Hopefully it's good. And we're good to go for driving this thing around the neighborhood. All right, guys, now we just need to get this whole pour out of tools off the front of the car here, cleaned up, and we can take this thing out. Let's do a little cleanup. It's such an organized mess up here. Let's see, who do you want to throw it in? Go with this box. I am excited, you guys. This is like key moment here. Since we bought this car back in November, I have been tinkering with it, and obviously it's been a little bit of time that I took off over the last month, just getting some stuff done here in the house. Haven't worked on it a whole lot, but we are at this beautiful moment right now, ready to go out and finally see how this thing's driving around the neighborhood and feel out the brakes and listen to it get up to temperature and just check on it in every single way. This is really exciting. Here we go. Rubber fuel line with filter from chassis to pump. Done that. Fuel bend pump up to the carburetor. We got that. Carb and throttle kickdown. Got that. Carb springs, double. Yep. Carb gasket. Yep. Old wiring holder. We're going to leave that for now. Not a big deal. That's some cleanup stuff. Not worried about that. Vent hoses, we'll get that later. Right now we'll be fine. V-belt, we got that. Water pump and pulley fan. Flush heater core, that's good. Heater hose control valve, good. Plug wires we'll do after this little run here. Just the shoes out a scooch. We got to do that real quick. Lube up the joints. We can do that after we're done here. Fill the tank. Hope there's no leaks. We're about to find that out right now. Check the lugs on the wheels before we head out. Triple gauge cluster. We just did that. I'm going to say we are good to hook. You guys excited? It's been a long time coming. A little over 4 months. And I am really proud of all the work that got accomplished on this thing just to make it completely safe and drivable again. Obviously, cosmetically, haven't done nothing with the car. We're going to clean this thing up. We're going to wash it. Not going to paint the car. I know a lot of people are not happy about that, but I don't care. I'm going to enjoy this thing and just drive it the way it is. Because guess what? Just like I said when we first pulled this car out, it's been sitting for 34, now 35 years. It is back to life. It is on the road. I don't got to wait anymore. I can enjoy driving this car, not worry about little things like someone knocking into it at the store or whatever. I can take this thing out and daily drive it, and it's literally right on the cusp of that happening right now. So I am really excited. Go ahead and see if we can't get some gas in this thing. Hopefully that grommet is not leaking. Yeah, let's check it out. And we will be good to go, guys. So without further ado, let's go get a gas jug. All right, here we go. There we go. That's better. First fill up for our new gas tank. It's gonna be a little bit slow. Really need to get myself some of the old school filler necks. These things, these EPA ones really suck. Really hard to get a good amount of fuel flow coming out of them. I'm not seeing anything hitting the ground yet. I think we're good. I think the grommet is sealing. One big thing I forgot to take note of to see if the fuel gauge was actually working. Let's see if we got any reading right now. All right, so right now with the key off, fuel is showing completely empty. Key on. I don't think I saw any movement there. Key off. Key on. So as we fill, we want to see if that thing comes up, because that would be amazing if this fuel gauge could work. All right, I think I probably got maybe 2.5 gallons in there right now. Hopefully that's enough to get us going. It's really hard with these stupid jugs to get enough in there, but that should be enough. Let's spray some down the carb and get for the shot. All right, just filled up the vent tubes. Should be enough there in the carburetor to fire, and hopefully pull up enough fuel with that new fuel pump and get us going. Guys, she's running, idling. I think we got enough gas in there to go. I didn't see the gauge come up yet. Sounding a little loud here up front. Looks like we got about 10 pounds of fuel pressure. I've got no fuel in it yet. We're gonna have to put some radiator hose action right here. Go ahead and spray some water. But she's good and idling. Let's go ahead and get some water there in the radiator, and we'll get it out on the road. Hopefully our little JB weld job we did here on the back still holds up. Right here, see if that still holds. All right, you guys, that should be enough water in there right now to go and scoot around. We're just below where the cap would go. Let's get us a cap. rad caps. Put the old rusty crusty back on it just for good measure. Okay, let's scoot out of here. Fire it right up. A little bit smoky. We're gonna make sure our oil sending unit isn't leaking. Let's see what's going on here. Might also just be some old oil burning off. What we got? Okay, we're good here. No leaks. It's just some old stuff on the headers, it looks like. Yeah, that's all right. We can deal with that. Radiator's holding, you guys. Hell yeah. Did the level come down? Let's see. Turn down the tag. Oh man, this is so cool. This car just purrs. It's not that idle. Smooth as hell. Super, super smooth. You can see it just fired right off with the hit of the key. What an absolute monster this car is. I love this thing so much. Even down to the old tires are running out of air. Kelly superchargers with my cool brakes that we painted and redid. All right, let's get a little more gas in here. We're gonna take this thing around the neighborhood. I think the fuel gauge came up a bit too, you guys. So I think we're reading, which is really cool. We're charging at 14, 15 volts there, a little above 15. We're already at 210 on our temp. Oil pressure's good. 42, 43 PSI, that's excellent. We need to get a little bit more water here. I don't think there's enough in that radiator, so let's go fill that up, get a little bit more gas, and then we'll be safe to go for a cruise. Sweet. Still looking good there, no leaks. Love it. Okay, let's get our cap on. Hopefully we see our temp come back down. Right now it was sitting a little high there. All right, I just got another maybe 2 gallons, maybe 3 into there. So we should be showing like 4 to 5 gallons here now. Let's see if we've got anything on this gauge. Yeah, it is coming up, you guys. Hell yeah. Heck yeah. We have a reading on our fuel gauge. That is so exciting. There's nothing worse than driving around your old school car, not knowing how much gas you have. I do that in Hefty all the time, driving that thing, guessing how much I have left and doing little calculations. Oh, I love that. Yes. Fuel gauge is working. Sweet. Well, let's get out on the street, guys.
3 years. This is awesome. All right, guys. Into gear. Emergency fuel's with us. First. Second. And third. Smooth as butter, baby. Old 727s never die. Oh, I can feel those old dry rotted tires wobbling. Very wobble honky. Yeah, we can't go too far with these old tires, that's for sure. Okay, let's flip a U-ey. Head back towards Mama for a cool drive-by shot. Oh, look at that. It turned into red light for reverse. And now once we come out of reverse, it's green. That's neat. Okay. She still got some juice? Sweet. Yeah. She's moving. It's only a matter of time before these old tires go. Hang on, Frank. Oh man, this is fun. This is some cool stuff right here. Oh, you can't beat it. Can't beat it. The Super Bee's alive. She's back. This is awesome. So excited. So much more to come with this car. This is the culmination of months of hard work and dedication right here. And yeah, there's still a lot more to do. Need to adjust these brakes out a little bit more, like I noticed. Absolutely, wheels and tires are a must. I'm gonna take it kind of easy right now and not try and pop these things, but she's running really good. It sounds really good. Temperature gauge is peaked though. We need to get back and see what's going on with that. Make sure that it's actually running that hot. We'll get our other gauge on here and test it. So let's go back. What a beautiful night though to be cruising around in the 71 Charger Super Bee. So cool. Track's pretty damn straight down the road. Sounds good, no misfiring. It's just mostly need wheels and tires now. Just mostly need new tires and make sure we're not actually overheating. I'm thinking our gauge is lying to us because that's warm, but that is not 250. That's maybe 210 right there. What do we got here? Yeah, 150. That's what I was thinking. This thing is nowhere near 210. 170 right there. At the water pump, 185. You know, 170, 185. Cylinder heads, 191. Yeah, there's no way. Heater lines, 160. Okay, so I don't know why that gauge is telling us we're at peaking 250. All right, since we know that we're at a good temp, let's go cruise some more. Hell yeah. Right now and proud of myself. This is awesome. This is what car guys dream of. Taking an old car that sat 35 years and bringing it back to life. This is what it's all about. This is awesome right here. I'm on the road right now. We are on the road. Do not tell Johnny Law right now. Well, we are on the actual road, you guys. Got about 25 pounds of oil pressure. Don't know why this gauge is saying we're as hot as we are. We're supercharging, and we're cruising. Most importantly, probably up to about 40 miles an hour. Don't want to lose these old tires. Slow it down. This is awesome. Really, really freaking awesome. At this point, I'm pretty much speechless. We've already done so much to this car. So cool. Yeah! Oh man, this thing is fun. Still cannot believe how responsive it is. Just goes. Really, really goes. You just lay into it and she moves. Oh man. And those brakes feel really good. This was awesome. I just ran over some black tires in the road that we left. Oh man, leaving our mark. So much fun. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support so far in all these videos. Just rooting me on, giving all me positive feedback, people telling me that I'm inspiring them. I love that. I love helping other people find the confidence and inspiration to get back to their cars, because there's nothing better than this right here, you guys. There's nothing better, in my opinion. This is what it's all about right here. Bringing them back to life. This thing is an absolute champion. She's just been laying dormant, waiting for her time to come back and shine. And she's shining. So cool, you guys. So cool. Once again. First, second, third. Sweet. Like I said, red, green. How neat is that? Second and third. Smooth butter. That's like part throttle. This thing wants to go. She wants to move, fellas. Let's see what we got here. Something rattling in the trunk, no big deal. Whoa! Park the tires! Yeah! Oh, that's cool. Definitely need to adjust the headlights, kind of pointing both center and making it a little hard to see. Ripping, guys. Very responsive. Very responsive. Yeah! Like floating on a magical Super B couch. Man, this thing still freaking moves, guys. So responsive. Like, not even exaggerating. Really, really responsive. By no means is this a 10-second car. Probably a 15, 16-second quarter-mile car at best, but Man, for a big old boat that's been sitting dormant for 34 years, amazing. So freaking cool. We're getting a little bit lower on fuel. Have to keep our eye on things. See how we're looking still. Oh yeah. Doing plenty good. 190. Beautiful. Sounds so good idling. It's amazing. The filler neck never leaked on us. Looks like the exhaust cleared up. I'm not seeing any smoking. That is awesome. Very, very good. When we first cranked it up, it sounded a little bit loud up front, but it's really quieted up. I think all the lifters settled back in. Now it's up to temperature. Fuel pressure is down to about 7 now. It's just purring along. Absolutely just purring along. What a gem. Let's burn some tires for you guys. How cool is that? Oh man, burning tires on an old school muscle car. It doesn't get any better than that. I was told that these ignition modules get hot, so that's why I put the heat sink on here, but not at all. 96 must be working out. Either way, we're looking good, guys. My final look at temps: 202, 265, 270, 216, all pretty close over there. I think we were hitting on all 8 for sure, you guys. I mean, it was running awesome. 206, 250, 255, 216. Very consistent. And like I said in previous videos, you guys, gonna get this all cleaned up now, pull these valve covers, make them look nice, get new plug wires on there, dress everything up, wash the whole car, give it a washing, get the hood back on here, figure out how to make the air grabber, ram charger hood work again, hood pins, a whole bunch of other little dress up things, get new tires obviously for the car. These old ones are really shot and bobbling down the road and not safe at all, but that is so cool, guys. So excited. Look at the absolute size of this wolf spider. That is a big mama. That's my finger right next to her. I'm sure she'll have a whole bunch of babies on her back here soon. That is cool. What's up, Wolfie? Boop. And no leaks, guys. Nothing leaking, nothing dripping. Not brake fluid, coolant, in this case water for right now. Transmission's barely got that drip because we're gonna replace the pan gasket we saw the other day, but fuel's not leaking. Everything is just looking really, really solid on this thing. Just came right back to life. Oil's good back there. Oh man, so amazing. Thought I had fuel leaking down here because there was a little bit of a puddle I actually noticed, but checking underneath the carburetor, everything was nice and dry. I've been cleaning up the spot and seeing it return. I thought something was leaking from down here. It's actually coming up from the underside of the valley pan tray. So there's probably a little pinhole right there where it's rusted through a little bit, and that's engine oil creeping up a little bit. So that's something that we'll have to pull off the intake and replace, and it'll work out good maybe when we clean up these valve covers, but not fuel leaking from the carburetor. It's actually engine oil. Maybe crankcase pressure right now. I don't know. That's really, really interesting. I've never seen something like that before. And the final thing I realized I kind of glazed over because of how excited we were in this video and time has passed. When we had to do these core plugs on this engine, we were worried maybe an internal crack happened in the block and it was going to lead to maybe coolant leaking and losing a cylinder and having the whole block be trashed. When we saw it clear up before, the exhaust was beautiful. It wasn't smoking at all. Pulling the dipstick here right now, you can see got nice golden clear oil right there. Not mixing with any sort of coolant or water in this case. It's not frothy at all. Still smells really good. It doesn't even smell like gas. So it's just running excellent, you guys.
We lucked out so much that the block didn't wind up having a crack or an issue internally. So many things that we've done along the way just to improve this car. It's really, really freaking cool. So I am so excited. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so happy. This is awesome. It's just slowly been getting bigger as we've been sitting here. Really interesting. And as far as that temperature gauge goes, I don't know what's going on with it. Maybe it's just a cheap freaking gauge set. Maybe there's something wrong with the sending unit sensor thing right over here. I don't know why it's telling us we're running at 250, but I'm glad that it checks out that we're definitely running like 190. I'll have to figure that out too. That's our rumbly sound we were hearing driving around. Fix that. Something else making noise too. At first I thought it was something like maybe end play in the axle where the flange met up to the wheel. But just check the drum, it's not that. I think I know what it is now. There it is. This 20-pound counterweight dongle from the old window thing that was left in here. That'll do it. Now, nice and quiet. Much better. For me, there's also something very endearing about the slop in old suspension. Obviously not so endearing when you're driving it around, but messing around with it, just the amount of give the car has and how much lateral movement there is in the sidewalls of the tires and stuff like that. It's kind of fun to me. The old front shocks still got a little bit of in them too. Almost just had a heart attack thinking I was leaking on one of my wheel cylinders, but luckily fluid is leaking out of this old shock, so that is a good sign. The wheel cylinder is still good to go. It's just coming out of the shock, but that was scary for a minute. Looks very similar to the old brake fluid. And overall, that transmission is not leaking too bad, but like I said, we've got a new Blue Moroso gasket. Replaced that thing, so this way we've got no leaks at all, because that transmission shouldn't be leaking. We've got it all buttoned back up. It should be nice and dry. All these old cracks in these tires. I have to retire the superchargers here very soon. With that, you guys, I'm gonna call it officially a night now. Been going over this car and kind of just reviewing everything I've noticed since the test drive. I think that we did amazing tonight. So much more to come. Catch you on the next Wild Finelli video. How cool is that? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Man, it just spun the tires. It just spun the tires at like 30.